Peace, family. Agent and Divine here to blow your mind. Yeah. Now, we've heard it everywhere. Ignorance is bliss. But is ignorance actually bliss? Well, in a way, yes it is. But ignorance is different from both sides of the spectrum. If one is conscious, they may be ignorant to things that only demotivate them or lower their vibrations. This is a good form of ignorance. But for the ignorant ones, this ignorance leads to only negative things, definitely not bliss. The ignorant people will not want to change and will also view themselves as the effect rather than the cause, a simple, immutable, universal law. But still, all is perspective. Everybody has a different perception. For example, Cypher in the Matrix betrayed his whole team just to become ignorant again, believing that the illusionary world will once again bring him bliss. This caused his death. Also, the perspectives of the two sides, ignorance and conscious, are complete opposites of the spectrum. Here's a question. If ignorance is bliss, why aren't more people happy? Why is majority of the world in a negative or depressed state, when yet majority of the peoples are ignorant and are sheeples? It doesn't really add up. These ignorant people also desire for wealth and material possessions to bring them happiness. Yet the people with these things argue these things don't truly bring happiness. Well, for me, before I was conscious, I was trapped within my own mind, stuck and lost with nowhere to go. Sure, I was in a bliss state by gaming and smoking weed every day with no care in the world, but I only had one path, which was a dead end. I was encaged within my own beliefs, habits, and my mindset, restricted by limits created and programmed into my very own mind. I was ignorant, but this was all converted and erased when I took on the path of knowledge and desired to become conscious. When somebody states ignorance is bliss, they are living it, without a doubt that this individual is ignorant and they have yet to see nor experience the other side, simply because you cannot unsee the other side. A bad mistake us conscious people make is trying to help the ignorant people that they care about. Yet this typically always backfires. To climb out of one's own ignorance, it may only be consciously done through one's own choice. Therefore, trying to help these people is a waste of your energy and your time and should be better spent on yourself, as investing into yourself is the best thing we can possibly do, because we will never not be ourselves. We will forever be player one. So like a video game, you should be evolving and trying to better understand your own character. Know thyself. The instant I had first learned the power of our mind and how law of attraction worked, which actually was the first subject to kickstart my journey of knowledge, I'll leave the video in a card up here. After learning about the power that all of us obtain, I then wanted to create in my own life. I wanted to achieve, and this could only be done through completely changing my own life. Ignorance blocks this change. Also, the mind plays tricks on you. For example, all the peoples whom are depressed will not, nor even want to change. If you embrace this ignorance, you quite literally will only change for the worse. Wealth and true happiness, which in my perception is achieved through achievements, are outside of ignorance. Becoming conscious leads you internally, and ignorance leads you externally. When you're on your deathbed in your last seconds, would you like to be able to think of and re-experience your own achievements that you've made for yourself and for the better good of humanity, or the times where you were munching Doritos and getting a blowy while smoking a joint? Okay, that second option does sound quite intriguing, but okay, we need to refocus here. True happiness comes from what you have achieved. Whether that be for the value of humanity, discovering the hidden things about your own being, or becoming rich within the matrix. None of those can be achieved through ignorance. Ignorance is a straight, narrow road. Yes, the road may be smooth and enjoyable, but leads you to crashing into a dead-end sign. Knowledge is a curvy, bumpy road, but at the end of the road holds much greater than the road of ignorance. It leads to rediscovering your own power within. Understand that whomever is a celebrity, politician, entrepreneur, or in general a successful and knowledgeable individual, they are in no way ignorant. These people are very smart, even though most actually play the fool. As a wise man can play the fool, but a fool cannot play a wise man. All whom are truly successful in this matrix are conscious or woke. To be successful in this matrix, it is mandatory to leave your ignorance behind, as those whom are successful know how to manipulate the ignorant, for example the food industry, or at least understand the true difference between the knowledge and ignorance. Simply, knowledge is power. Now you see, ignorance is what has allowed us to be in the state that the world is in right now, a state where we should never have been put in, where people are so ignorant they can't research a topic that has the whole world locked down by a virus that is barely more severe than a flu, and our death rates are equal to any other year pretty much. The knowledgeable peoples have planned and used this crisis for more power and more money, closing all the small businesses, allowing them to funnel all the money into the elite corporations. This crisis has even made the more knowledgeable to how they can control the ignorant. But we also have to look at the good side of things, as this crisis has allowed for many of the ex-ignorant people, like me, to begin to see the real reality of our current circumstances, and therefore realize that we have been ripped apart from true knowledge, which is within nature and therefore within one's own being. Whether you're getting your information from books, science, or videos, if it's truthful information, it all comes from one source, where all has originated from, and that is nature. That is why nature holds all. Overall, this topic is perspective, but of whom has watched this video and decided that ignorance is still bliss, I've got nothing else to say to you. As a knowledge seeker myself, I understand the value of energy, and that energy shall not be wasted on the ignorant, but instead used to involve one's own being and one's intelligence. Agent of Divine signing out from the heart. I seriously love every single one of you tuning in, and hope for you to reach your own greatness within. Peace.